This video is brought to you by
Cool Green Clothing. You already know what it is. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Go online right now at coolgreenclothing.com and I assure you, you'll find something on the website right now just for you. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. And that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Before I get into this story, I just want to say it's a requested video. But with that being said, let's get right into the story. In life, for some, their friendships and bonds mean everything to them. When you grow up with somebody, play in the streets together, go to school with each other, your mother knows their mother, y'all watch each other go through growing pains, turn from kids to adults, it's no greater relationship. It feels more like a brotherhood or sisterhood. It's definitely something to hold on to. As life goes on, people go off to do different things and take different paths. But the love for your day one homies will always be there. Some people have careers, kids, families, but still make time to go have a few drinks or chop it up with the people they call friends. In certain situations, things can take a turn though. Say for instance, your right-hand man you grew up with moves away to another city or state, or even worse, he gets jammed up on a charge and has to go sit and do some time. Through that time and distance, for some, it strains relationships. You continue on with life while they have to go through what they have to go through. If you have a solid homie, they might send you a few dollars, slide for a visit or two, send some flicks, but for most, life keeps on lifing and it's out of sight, out of mind. But as years go by, we like to remember the good times and our peoples just how they were when we were the closest. Not knowing sometimes life separates us for a reason. People change, situations change, and who you knew yesterday might be a totally different person today. And when you don't know the true feelings of your so-called friends and family, things can take a crazy turn. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be discussing the case of a man who took care of his homie while he was in prison for years just for him to come home and take his life. Last year, 27-year-old Taja Addison was in the prime of his life. Described as a protector, very loyal to his family and friends, hard worker, and the life of the party. Always willing to laugh, joke, dance, and cut up with his peoples. The father of 2 boys, ages 8 and 5, his kids were his main focus. He was a very active father, even being an assistant coach and overly with his oldest son played little league football. To make ends meet and provide, Taja worked at a junkyard, pulling parts for customers. But he also started his own mobile mechanic business. Far removed from the streets, he was a family man who wanted to make sure his peoples was good. If he had it, he made sure everybody else had it as well. A huge Baltimore Ravens fan, if it was a home game, you could catch him down the stadium rooting for the home team. Outside of that, Taja had a homie, a friend he had known for years, who he looked at like a brother. He was 27-year-old Matthew Crawley. Matthew had been gone for a minute, catching a charge years prior, which landed him up Hagerstown. But Taja never forgot about his homie. For 9 years straight, he put money on his books, took Matthew's mother up there to see him if she didn't have a ride, and made sure he took care of any business his homie needed him to take care of out here in the free world. So in March 2025, Taja was excited. His road dog was finally coming home. When Matthew was released, Taja was right there and even took him shopping. On March 6th, as the two vibed, talked about old times, reminisced, Taja thought it was all love. A few hours later, Matthew and Taja were on Yale Avenue in Southwest Baltimore, by where Matthew was living at the time. Matthew told him, like, yo, I'll be right back, and got out the passenger side of the car. As Taja sat, waiting for his homie to come back, shots went off. Broad daylight around noon, neighbors who heard the shots called BPD. When they responded to the 700 block of Yale Avenue, they found Taja suffering from 3 gunshot wounds, 2 to the upper body and 1 to the face. And unfortunately, he was pronounced gone on the scene. The only leads police had at first was 3 shell casings around the vehicle, until one neighbor came to them with Ring video footage from their home. It showed the man get out of the car with Taja, circle the car a few times before upping the gun, shooting through the driver's side window. It appeared the gun jammed, and the shooter fixed it and kept shooting, before then bopping off. Police quickly got word the shooter lived in the area, only a few doors down from the incident, and everybody was pointing to the man in the video as Matthew. When police pulled up on him, he was surprisingly laughing before being taken into custody for the homicide of his friend. Another Ring camera on the house Matthew was living at caught him coming in the house after the shooting, leaving back out and throwing a weapon in the area, which police found not long after the incident. Taja's family was devastated after hearing the terrible news, but they were even more heartbroken. The man he called friend and brother was responsible for taking his life after he took care of him for years. He even was right there as soon as his mans came home to take him shopping. Matthew was charged with first-degree hit and being a felon in possession of a firearm. As Taja's family and friends were left to pick up the pieces, and even though hurt, celebrate his life, they did in style. They laughed, joked, and everybody was dressed to a T, with smiles on their face, dancing, heads up, chin high, as he would want them to be. But it was still a dark cloud and a lingering question: how could a so-called friend snake his mans after he looked out for him for years? It was a lot of delays in the court proceedings, but in October 2025, Matthew's trial started. He walked into the courtroom to face Taja's family, in which he showed no remorse or emotion. He held his head down like he was sleeping the whole time, as the evidence against him was read out by prosecutors, who deemed his actions cold and calculated. Taja's family thought they would finally get answers, but it was complete silence even after a jury found Matthew guilty on all charges. He gave no reason or showed no remorse. He is scheduled for sentencing in February of this year. Rest in peace to Taja. I send my prayers and condolences to his family, especially his boys who lost their father so young. His family is definitely hurting without him and trying to pick up the pieces and cope with the situation the best way they know how. Some say Matthew was simply jealous of Taja and took his life. Others feel like it's a lot deeper. But like we was talking about earlier, a lot of us base our whole reputation on being solid, a real person or a friend, taking care of our peoples, thinking everybody we say we love loves us back. People smile in family and friends' faces every day, but whole time, deep inside, they hold on to jealousy, envy, hate, and it's hard to see when you are blinded by loyalty and love. Taja did something a lot of people don't normally do. I know very few did it for me. He took care of his homie at his lowest point in life, when he couldn't take care of himself, sitting in a cell. Just for him to come home and snake him after 9 years. That goes to show it's a thin line between so-called friends and enemies. And sometimes, unfortunately, we don't realize until it's too late. Yeah, man, terrible situation. Tragic story. Rest in peace to Taja. I definitely send my prayers and condolences to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all leave it in the comments. Be sure to tap that like button if you're feeling the content. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.